described as fresh, different, and exciting. The cars have pulled out into the fast lane and are speeding to the top. Freeze Frame meets Ric Ocasek at the car's new studio in Boston.
Where did the car's sound come from? This amazing sound that was just like nothing that was out.
Came from my basement, actually. It's just the eclectic personalities of the people in the band playing in a particular style that they've developed themselves combined. I don't really know. It was never like the car should sound like this. It was always that we just learned songs and they sounded the way they sounded when we finished learning them. And I think that it was basically that people in the band had a particular style that they played or that developed, and those styles intact made the Cars sound.
That first Cars album, the debut album, was one of the most successful and artistically acclaimed, which is not always, they don't always go hand in hand. Have you found a pressure to follow that up?
Not particularly. I think that it was great that the first record was so successful. We didn't expect it. It took us by surprise. But on the other hand, I think when it came time to do a second record and a third record, I don't think that we could have ever lived up to everybody's expectations of a better record than the first in that sense, because when you hear a new band for the first time, it's obviously that new sound that sucks you in. And no matter what kind of a record you do after that, it's merely another record with that sound. In fact, it seems to me that in one's lifetime, the amount that you actually change is not really that significant. I mean, you might change your view on things here and there, but your personality and the way you view things is generally the same, unless you flip out and just...
Why did you decide to build a studio as opposed to using any studio in the world that you wanted?
Because our normal procedure was to come and record songs before we would go into the studio to do a final recording. Very often, when we would come in to record demos for the record, they would come out better than the ones in the record. So basically, we got tired of like doing it again. And the studio was available, it was for sale, and it seemed as though the amount of money we spent on an album, we could build a studio.
Did you find that creatively that helped you to have your own studio?
Most definitely. Mostly because of time. You could just wake up and come in, fall asleep, go home. You know, it wasn't that we had to tear down and set up every 6, 7 hours.
What's your relationship with the other members of the band?
It's purely sexual.
Fair enough.
A good relationship. We have a lot of respect for each other and like each other. We get along well for a band who's been, you know, around a little bit. We've been playing a long time together.
Take some freeway lane. Need a double life. Take some leeway, baby. If you wanna do it twice. Backseat rumble, take your front seat wife. Take some fast car lady.
How much is the Cars your band? For instance, songs. Do other members of the band bring songs to do on a Cars album?
No, I write all the songs.
And that's
On a
understood,
Cars album.
accepted?
It's understood and accepted because I formed a band to do those songs. Basically, I'm a songwriter more than a musician.
If the Cars is a vehicle for your songs, why a solo album?
I'm not a car. I'm a person. I can write many songs and do many things on tape, some of which I could do differently. It's just for variation, fun.
Do you perceive the Ric Ocasek solo album is going to be quite substantially different from
I would hope so. I would hope so. The songs will come from the same person, but I think that it'll sound different, better. I want it to.
What's been the high point of your life professionally?
To sort of get in front of a lot of people publicly and to go from blank pieces of paper to finished songs and have it noticed.
And the low point of your professional life?
Well, hard to say. It was hard getting up there. It was hard in the beginning. It was playing clubs for years. It was trying to do something with nothing available.
What's been the high point personally for you?
I don't know, because I don't really I don't think about it that much in those terms. I don't think about, well, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It seems to me that things don't last long anyway. Your high points and your low points. High points don't last that long. It's a high and it happens and it's great at the moment, but you really can't live on it. There's got to be something higher and lower. I've had all kinds of ups and downs, highs and lows. I'm always chasing them. I'm always chasing.
Do drugs fit in that picture?
Drugs?
What?
I don't do many drugs. I used to do some drugs. I've never done anything hard. It's sort of like a record business thing to do. Everything's available to you if you want it. But I personally don't. It sort of runs my energy down. I just as soon feel like that I could do it without it. Then I feel like if I get really low or high, it's because I sort of made myself be that way. Has its advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantages seem to be that there's not much privacy. But I think it's what I asked for.
Do you like being rich?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
You always get used to things, you get used to being poor, you can get used to being rich, I was just as comfortable being poor, really. I had that all down. I could survive that way. I got money. Other people take care of it.
Do you feel any responsibility, either socially or politically?
Socially, yeah. Maybe to have people, crucify boredom, so that they have new music to listen to, that they have fun with and they can relate to, something they can carry around with them their whole lives. Politically, I don't think politics and music mix. I think it's like anything. If you like politics and you want to be involved, you get involved. If you don't, you don't. A fool is wise in his folly.
How do you see the next 10 years for mankind unfolding?
I never think about it. I don't know. Maybe the technological age will take over and scare the shit out of everybody. I don't have like an overview of the future. In a sense, I'm a futurist, always looking towards the future and borrowing from the past. But I don't think about what mankind's going to be doing 10 years from now. I think more about whether I can get a lot of signal on tape without it going into distortion.